Good morning, traders. I'm Joel Alconin, and welcome to Thursday's edition of Pre-Market Info.
Well, looks like we got a little bit of movement in the S&Ps this morning, up a decent amount there. Joel, what are you thinking on this rally here? Looks like we're finally getting some relief after a couple of days in the red here.
Just another buying opportunity the last couple days. We did hit the 1680 and a quarter level, 80 and a half yesterday, the 6-day low coinciding with Wednesday's low. We've got a pop here all the way up to Tuesday's high at 1695. Like to see us hold that level and make a challenge back in the 1700 handle. But a lot of good earnings out from a lot of companies giving the market a boost.
We got crude breaking below that $105 level too, so kind of slowing down over there. What do you think for crude oil today, Joel?
Below 105 and below 104, Jake. We took out yesterday's low at 104.10, down trading at 103.92. Don't see a lot of major support here in this 103 handle. You did have some lows back last week under 103 at 102.93 and 102.67. That's still a stick away from here, so not sure we're going to get back there today. Coming back on the upside here, if we do get a 30 or 40 cent rally to the close, 104.37, I would look at that to be a resistance point. Some data coming out of China yesterday is perhaps adding a little fuel to the rally, and as well as some news regarding Herbalife. We're going to bring in Matt Canterman for Can's Rant here on these two issues. Matt, how you doing this morning?
Fantastic, Joel. How are you?
We're doing good.
So, I mean, overnight, China released its trade data for July, and this is a big monthly indicator because obviously China's trade is a huge part of its economy. The trade balance disappointed at 17.8 billion. It was expected to be almost 27. However, the internals in there were really good. The trade balance was a lot lower because imports rose 11% in July, which was way better than the 1% gain. While exports also rose 5% versus the 2% gain. And even more important, you're seeing this across most the commodity complex, not so much in oil this morning, but if you look at copper this morning, imports of iron ore were at a record high last month. Imports of soybeans were at a record high last month. So a lot of commodities getting a boost this morning from China demand. It looks like a lot of economists are saying it's restocking of stockpiles after a few months of low imports. But yeah, you can see Freeport there is over $30 this morning, taking back that $30 level. It consolidated right below it, and now it took it out. These stocks are getting a boost here from China. You know, it's alleviating some of the fears of the hard landing, and that's good for the entire market.
Yeah, good resistance at that $30 level. Had a couple tops back there last week, so we're climbing above that. Keep an eye as a key swing level. More Ackman Icon Soros wars today, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Herbalife is fun, ain't it? So on Monday, actually, I put out a report on Benzinga about how securities lending data in Herbalife is pointing to the fact that these big guys, Soros and everyone who's going long, Icon, are refusing to actually lend out their stock to be shorted. And what that's going to do, it's going to make short squeezes happen that much more frequently. I spoke to Aztec Analytics about it, and they track this data in live time. So basically what he thinks is that any little piece of good news, as you had this morning, you had Herbalife get approval to sell more products in China or something like that. They got an added direct selling license in China. Any little piece of good news is going to send this stock higher. And sure enough, you see the stock popping this morning.
Wow, doesn't sound too kosher to me, but that's the way the street works here. Just for you Herbalife traders here, we've hit the $68 level, hit that 2 days ago. That's been the high of the move. We'll use that as a resistance point. Right now, it's currently trading at 66.45, which was yesterday's high, so if it can maintain that 66.45, 65 half level, look for it to make another run at the $68 level. Matt, thanks for that good information.
No problem. Have a nice day.
Jumping over to the earnings side of things, though, we had a wild close yesterday. A lot of movers like we were kind of previewing. We just kind of get started with Tesla here. EPS came in at 5 cents versus the expected loss of 17 cents. While revenue came in at 390 or 405.14 million versus the expected 393.67 million. And as expected, you've got Tesla running on that. Joel, what do you think about Tesla here? I mean, it just doesn't seem like it's able to go down.
Well, I hope no one listened to me yesterday about buying protective puts in this thing in case it had bad earnings, because that goes by the wayside. They blow away the numbers. They hit 158.49. Believe it or not, it's 4.5 points off its high here. Currently trading at 154 even, still up almost $20. If you're looking for a target on the upside, perhaps that 158.49 will come into play. Coming back on the downside after hitting that level, we came back and dipped under 150 just momentarily. Some shorts probably just gasping for air here. So we'll use 150 as our support point. Coming back, if it does happen to break up below that 150 level, you can look at the former all-time high of 145.73 as your next support point.
Another one that we had reporting yesterday, another momentum stock, was Green Mountain Coffee Roasters, GMCR there. EPS came in at 82 cents, beating expectations of 77 cents, while revenues came in at 967.1 million, missing expectations of 981.9 million. They also released some guidance. For the fourth quarter, they're aiming for 69 to 74 cents a share. Street is looking for 72 cents a share, so putting Street estimates basically right in the center of the range. They also released some fiscal year 2013 guidance. EPS 319 to 324 versus expected, or what the Street was looking for was 316. Prior, they were looking for 305 to 315. So good report there from GMCR.
Mixed bag here. The high freaks that read the initial headline pushed it up to the 82.98, then came crashing down. 72.5 has been the low in the pre-market. Let's look at the dailies here, get a perspective on the stock. After making a high above the $82 level, 82.51, had a weak day yesterday. Perhaps someone anticipating the sour earnings here. Now trading at the $75 level, $2.50 off the low. I'd keep an eye here on 73.71. That was your low on July 26th. Then below that, we can look at the 72.70 level, which was the pre-market low, and then another major support point at 71.42.
Another one of the Elon Musk stocks, Solar City, that's Sandy, Charlie, Tango, Yankee, reported yesterday as well. Keeping up that theme of poor solar earnings with First Solar. So EPS came in at a loss of 43 cents versus the expected loss of 38 cents. Well, revenues came in at 46.6 million versus the expected 27.44 million. So you got some serious revenue growth there, but they are just not making money on the bottom line.
Yeah, and First Solar disappointed the day before, so it's good to keep an eye on the stocks and the same sector and how they react. A lot of times there is follow through. Hit a low of 36.61 in the pre-market here, getting a bounce back. Just spotty trades all over the place in the pre-market. After hitting that 36.61. Just floated back up, now consolidating around the $39 level. To get a perspective on this stock on the dailies here, we are crashing through some pretty good support points. We will now be looking at the $36 level. Didn't quite get there in the pre-market, but you had multiple lows around 36 at the end of June. And just above that, you did have another level, 37.30 to 37.38 was a triple bottom you had early in July. So a couple levels to be keeping on here if SCTY continues its decline.
Another big name reporting earnings yesterday after the close was Time Warner. Reports some second quarter earnings here. EPS coming in at 83 cents versus expected 76 cents. So almost a 10% beat there. Revenues came in at 7.4 billion versus expected 7.1 billion. So things have been strong there. Despite that earnings report, B. Riley and Company still downgraded the company from a buy to a neutral. What are you seeing on this is TWX here?
Oh,
So what do you see there?
I was going to say here that was T. You get me every once in a while. Time Warner here. Let's take a look at the chart here. Let's take a look at the pre-market and see what kind of activity we got off those numbers here. You did get a spike all the way up in the 66 handle. Let's look at the dailies here for the stock and the technicals lining up here for TWX as opposed to TWC. 63.84 was yesterday's low. Let's keep an eye on that. If it goes into retreat, big range from yesterday. I'd just be keeping an eye on the parameters from yesterday's trading. 66.01, right around the nice even number there. If it goes into rally mode for another $1.40, I'd be keeping an eye on. I believe that's the all-time high for the stock at 66.01.
Rounding out some of the earnings reports from yesterday, the last of the momentum stocks reporting was Groupon, reporting a Q2 EPS loss of 2 cents, which was below the expectations of a gain of 2 cents. Revenues came in at 608.7 million versus expected 605.54 million. Despite that, the company did release some guidance. EPS came in at they're guiding Q3 EPS between a loss of 1 cent and a gain of 1 cent. The street was hoping for 5 cents. Revenues looking to put the street estimates at the lower end of the range. But it looks like Groupon's still running because they now have some strength and leadership. They have officially set their CEO and chairman roles. So I think that's given some sureness to traders out there.
Yeah, ever since what was it, that Andrew Mason that they dumped a couple months ago? Boy, the stock has really turned around, up 226 in the pre-market, briefly hitting the $11 level. Believe it or not, Groupon trading up 227. The weekly charts don't do you any good on this one. Perhaps we can go to the monthlies here. You know, when you go into the monthlies, you're really things might be overdone here. But going back to the monthlies, this stock has not traded at this level since July of 2012, where it hit 1050. So keep an eye on that. In June of that year of 2012, it hit 1139. Boy, I just tell you, one thing about this is here's a stock that trades a lot of volume on a daily basis. And, people that have had sell orders all the way in the book here, all the way up between the close of 872 and 11 are going to get filled. Boy, I just keep an eye, watch this thing between 9:15 and 9:30. Keep an eye on that pre-market high right now, which is the $11, and then play it off that. But boy, if you've been long this thing for a year and a half, and now you're getting this kind of move, boy, it might be tempting to try and take some profits.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have some movement in the potash companies, specifically Potash, which is Papa Oscar Tango, Mosaic, which is Mike Oscar Sandy, and Agrium, Alpha Golf Uniform. There are some comments coming out of the Potash CEO that the breakup of the Russian cartel will not have as large of an effect on the market as expected. So it looks like that's given some relief to the stocks this morning. I know we also had Agrium earnings this morning where they came in right in line on the bottom line at 494. Revenues beat expectations at 7.02 billion versus expected 6.95 billion. The company did release, it looks like we don't have any guidance on the company, but there are a few ratings and kept them bumped it from underperform to set to perform. So it looks like there's some positives coming from Agrium both in news and earnings. Joel, what do we see on the technicals there?
His statement certainly didn't have as much effect on the market as when the Russians broke up the cartel here. So, little bit skeptical of this news here. You're getting some kind of pop in potash. You did hit 30.65, settling back now to trade at 30.22. In my opinion, if this statement was as powerful as when the cartel broke up, it should be breaking above this 31.89 level. That was the high on the day of the announcement, and getting back into filling some of this gap all the way up to the
Initial jobless claims for the week ended August 3rd coming in at 330,000. Analysts were looking for 335,000. The prior week reading was revised higher from an initial 326,000 to 328,000. Continuing claims for the week ended July 27th coming at 3.018 million, back over that 3 million mark. Economists were looking for 2.95 million.
Thanks, Brent. S&P's getting a little pop, making a high 1695.50, just kind of floating up here. Not enough news on that to bust us up to the 1700 level, but going back to the S&P's, still keeping a close eye at 1694. That was yesterday's high. Monday closed right at that area, 1693.50. Just finishing back up on the potash here. Like I said, the news that was announced didn't push it anywhere near the levels before the decline. So a little skeptical on the news coming out on that stock today.
Do have Freeport Mac brand running this morning. It's copper and gold. They're up about 2.5% less than we looked at. Some positive news on looks like we got a little bit of a copper rally going on here. Joel, what do you see on FCX there?
Yeah, this is related to what Matt had talked about some positive data coming out of China here. Yesterday's high, we are trading above that, this 29.93, and then you also had a couple highs right above 30. So we're smartly above that level. So if you do shorten this thing off the open and comes back into 30, I expect that area to act as support. If the rally can continue here, another 20, 30 cents, you have a double top to contend with at 30.48 and 30.49 from June 3rd and June 4th. But really need any kind of decline to hold that $30 level.
So we have some earnings after the close today as well. So we're looking at Priceline and Molycorp. So PCLN there, it's been a pretty wild stock recently. Joel, do you have any technicals we could run on that? I'm definitely interested in seeing where this one might go.
Really not much. I mean, this stock's just the Energizer Bunny just keeps going, and going. Just trading up $7.50 here in the pre-market. Really, the only number to keep an eye on here, 940. 940 was the high 2 days ago. So if you're trying to sell the top, which I don't recommend, Priceline $5 away from here, you got the 940 level, and who knows where this thing can go after earnings.
We also have Molycorp earnings. That's MCP after the close. Another wild stock there. Companies expected to report a loss of 23 cents versus a loss of 3 cents the same quarter last year. Revenue is expected to come in at 157.56 million versus 104.58 million the prior quarter. Joel, what are you thinking on Molycorp?
Really, I mean, after all the a couple pops up to test the 8, but every time it's come back and slipped under the $7 level. People have been scooping this stock up. 692, 690, 690 was the low for yesterday. I like these kind of technical formations where you get multiple lows in the same area. So I think Molycorp good to go here as long as you're holding that super major support to $7 level. As far as resistance goes, minor resistance 747 and 748. That's your 3 and 4 day highs. Above that, another little stopping point at 777. But the big number on the upside is at $8 level. You had 2 highs at 802 and 806.
Rounding out the morning show, we got Panera getting a rating this morning. Wunderlich Securities upgrading it from a hold to a buy while bumping the price target from $200 to $212. So PNRA getting a little bit of a boost there from Wunderlich. You think that's going to give them strength in today's session?
Well, it's giving them some strength here a little bit. We popped above yesterday's high, which was 173 and a quarter. So if you get a pullback at $1.25, that's going to be your support point. What Wunderlich's trying to do here is get them back to fill this huge day. I believe that was a high frequency trade or a blip right before the close, and then they released information. So you got, going up into this area above the 173 level, which was the high. You start to get into this vacuum area, all the way up to the lower 180s. So could be some dangerous shorting territory here between 173 and 182.
Well, that kind of rounds out what we got for news this morning. Joel, what are you seeing on the S&Ps for today?
Just hovering here. I mean, I'm still going to stick to my guns here with the 1695 level, with that being yesterday's high, trading right to that area in the pre-market on all these positive earnings requests. So we hold there. I'm looking us to sneak back into the 1700s. Of course, we have 1705 is the high, the double top that we made last week. Coming back on the downside here. Minor support levels back down to the 88 and a quarter close, which coincided with the 87.75 low in the futures. Thanks for the broadcast, and we will now open it up for questions.